death, taxes, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 30-plus points.
My whole life is consistent. Everything I do, from what I eat to when I sleep, to my recovery, to my loved ones, everything's consistent. And it's a routine for me at this point.
Where in the world did this consistent drive behind SGA come from? Well, there were two specific dates in NBA history in which the mission became personal for Shai. July 5th, 2019. Two decisions were made by end of day that a lot of us thought would drastically shift the balance of power in the Western Conference. The little brother in Los Angeles made a huge splash by signing newly minted Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard in free agency and acquiring all-star wing Paul George via trade for just two players and a bunch of future draft picks. Draft picks are always a to-be-determined move in trade, so it's fair to look at who the players were first to see if the Thunder got any value in the immediate back. One of those players was 10-year vet and soon-to-be 31-year-old Danilo Gallinari. He ended up playing just one season in OKC. The other had just completed his rookie year in the NBA and was literally just about to turn 21 years old 7 days after the trade. His full name, Shevante Asian Gilgeous-Alexander, or SGA for short. And this wasn't even the first time he'd been traded in his young career. Let's rewind the tape back a bit further to June 21st, 2018. It's draft night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and once again, the Hornets have a lottery pick and manage to select a future superstar guard. I feel like we've been here before. Anyway, SGA goes off the board at number 11 to Charlotte just to find out that he's been traded to the LA Clippers, who had the very next pick, which ended up being Miles Bridges. The Clippers threw in 2 future second-round picks in the deal as well to acquire the rights to SGA. Pause. I doubt Shai needed any extra motivation after fulfilling a lifelong dream to make the league, but getting traded on draft night for the dude selected right after you? It just became personal. And a quick side note, I gotta be honest with y'all, okay? Before I decided to go with the personal theme for this video, I almost titled it, When You Got Kobe in Your DNA, because the parallels to Kobe's young career with the draft night trade from Charlotte to an LA team and the way Bryant made his living in the mid-range, which is exactly what we're seeing Shai do now, are eerily similar, I must admit. After all, SGA's affinity for Kobe is well documented, as seen in this viral clip of his take on Kobe versus MJ.
Kobe is Michael Jordan, just on a steroid.
You're talking about skills.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about best player.
Kobe has 5 rings. What's your argument?
All around.
And I'm saying all around, Kobe Bryant. Competitive nature, championship. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Kobe 1, Bron 2, Mike 3. They're all amazing. They're all the best ever. But it's just a love thing.
But I listen to y'all, the people who make this channel what it is, and not many of y'all were buying the Kobe SGA comparison. I don't want to stretch a comparison just to make a headline, so while I do believe that there are shades of Kobe in SGA's game, Shai's not a direct comp due to the fact that he's less athletic than a young Kobe, plays more of a stop-and-go shifty game, and scores at a more efficient rate. SGA's statistical consistency is incredible, and it's something that I'm going to dive into as this video progresses, but to return to the main point of this video presented at the beginning, what's the motivating factor behind his greatness?
He did say that his agent told him before he went on stage that he would be going to the Clippers, so what was your reaction to hearing that you'd be heading to the West Coast?
It's a great feeling, honestly, but
yeah. Even though he may not admit it to the media, it became personal for SGA when he was traded on draft night, and that was further amplified after the Clippers basically communicated to him, solid rookie year and playoff debut and all, we think you're good, but you're not Paul George, and we're trying to win now. At the time in 2019, that was a fair take. Of course, the risk the Clippers ran was, well, exactly what has played out over the course of the past 5 seasons. Numerous injuries to PG and Kawhi has made the conference finals the farthest the Clippers have reached in the postseason at the time of this video. All the while, SGA has blossomed into a leader who's elevating OKC to elite status for the first time since the KD Westbrook days, alongside a top candidate for Most Improved Player of the Year in Jalen Williams, who was selected with the 12th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, one of the picks acquired from the Clippers in the Paul George trade. Y'all were very clear in a recent poll I posted that the Thunder won the PG trade, and when I say clear, I mean by a substantial margin. Y'all made your voices heard on that. Maybe some of y'all saw SGA's personal success coming based on the numbers he posted last season, but combine that with OKC's team success that he's directly responsible for in the 2023-2024 season. In my humble opinion, people, we are witnessing the most unexpected, greatest season by a young superstar in NBA history.
No knock on my first year in the NBA. It was amazing. But that was the first time in my life I was on a team with like older guys with kids and a family. This team feels like a college team, like a high school team, like an AAU team.
Young thoroughbreds led by a brother that is busting everybody's you know what.
And SGA's mentality is simple.
NBA players, and especially guys that are that talented, we all believe we're the best. We all believe what we bring to the table is special and unique, and he has every right to think so.
And so you do too.
Absolutely.
So today, we're gonna see SGA's mentality in action against some of the league's brightest superstars. The on-court smoke in the matchups between him and the man he was traded for, PG. The elevation of his game against one of the guys who most regularly gets compared to Kobe today in Jason Tatum. And by the end of this video, we can all answer the question, is SGA on track to become the best player in Thunder history? And will we consider his name among the all-time great guards by the end of his career? All right, let's pause for a quick shout out to Rakuten, who is not sponsoring this video, by the way. They're just the #1 option for cash back with online shopping. I use Rakuten, whether it's through the website or the app, every time I shop online, and I have a link in the description down below. Now, I'm completely transparent. This is an affiliate link. I will get credit if you go to this link, but most importantly, you will get credit because when you spend $30, you'll get $30 back, and whatever store that you're shopping at, depending on the cash back that they're giving right now, you'll get that percentage back as well. It's legit. I've used this for years. Think about it like this. Support my channel through the link by buying whatever you want online. That's a pretty good deal, right? Let's get back to the video. The Thunder are young. The Thunder are ahead of schedule. The Thunder have the best situation in the league for a team going into the future. How many times have you heard these statements, huh? I ain't gonna lie. I say some of these in basketball convos sometimes because, well, all of them are true. But something we don't hear that often is that the Thunder are here and they ain't ducking anyone. Matter of fact, they're mopping up opponents, and SGA's telling them and their fans to go home on the opposing team's home court.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. They just keep coming at you. He's got 30. As he tells the Orlando Magic to go home. I can't go home. I sold my house.
Nasty. That's Shai's mentality in a nutshell. Anyway, I know some of y'all watching will say that SGA can drop numbers on the good but young Magic all he wants. What's he gonna do when he faces off against the best? Now, you can check out how he's fared against Anthony Edwards throughout his career so far with the link in the description, but in this video, allow me to show you how he's fared against the very man he was traded for, Paul George. SGA has matched up against PG 11 times throughout his career as a member of the Thunder, and he has a 5-6 record against him. Now, for context, Shai was 1-5 against PG from the 2019-20 season through the 2021-22 season. Now, OKC was also really bad in that stretch, aside from 2019-20 when they had Chris Paul. On the flip side, SGA is 5-1 against PG from the 2022-23 season through the current 2023-24 season, with a 2-1 record against him this year in the season series. Let's break down this year's matchups. It's December 21st, 2023, and the Thunder are hosting a team that have been absolutely tearing up the league since the start of December. Having figured out how to implement the system into their system, the Clippers were riding a streak of not 1,
Not 2.
not 3, let's face it, I ain't LeBron.
Nope.
9 straight wins into OKC. So how would the young Thunder respond? Well, how about a classic 31 for SGA to go along with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals to lift OKC to a blowout W, 134-115, and hand the Clippers their first loss in the month of December. Now, there was no Kawhi in this one for LA, and PG did contribute 22 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists, but it was way too much SGA in the end. The man was cooking from the mid like usual and getting to the spot wherever he wanted. Their second matchup this season season came on TNT on January 16, 2024, and this was a revenge game for PG-13 on the national TV stage. He posted a season-high 38 points and 6 threes on a blistering 62.5% from the field. That is smoking. What was the most impressive is what he did late in this one, as 18 of his 38 points came in the fourth quarter. The man was looking like vintage Indiana PG out there, putting the team on his back and letting the crowd know about it. This was all capped off by a strip steal of SGA and coast-to-coast reverse dunk that made me double take for sure. SGA had just 19 on 37.5% from the field as the Clippers prevailed 128-117 and made a statement in the process. So how would these two teams wrap up the third and final game of the season series? Well, it went down on February 22nd, 2024 in OKC, and for SGA, all that could be said about this one was,
well. How the turntables.
I once again push the pace a little crossover from SGA. What a sweet move once again, this time going with the left hand.
Yeah, like that play, PG looked a little lost in this one. He dropped just 14 points on 37.5% from the field, while SGA scored, do you want to guess? 31. The man actually had 31 points again. No, you can't make this stuff up. 31 points on just over 62% from the field, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds to lead OKC to a 129-107 rout of the Clippers. This was a moment when LA was gaining on OKC in the standings and were looking to surpass them, and the Thunder just absolutely squashed any notion of that, wiped it right out the building, as they have continued to do all season long, really. Every time we think they're going to have that moment where we see that they're a young team and we chalk it up to immaturity shining through, they manage to pull off big win after big win. And you want to know the number one way that you can continue to help this channel win big and continue to receive this type of content back in return? By dropping a like on this video and subscribing while you're at it. Might as well do that, all right? Go ahead and leave your feedback in the comments if you truly do enjoy this type of content, and I really do appreciate y'all for tuning in. And let's face it, the Clippers are good, but at least at the time of this video's release, they're not at the Celtics level. And if we rewind a bit to January 2nd, 2024, that's when the Thunder would host the league's best team in a game that would either speak volumes to their rapid ascent or humble them very quickly. And hey, to bring up the Kobe comparison point again from the beginning of this video, I know we agreed that SGA is not a direct comp to the Mamba, but in a game against someone who has been in that discussion for modern day Kobe, this was SGA's chance to show if he had the Mamba mentality to take him down on this night. Jason Tatum really doesn't have much to prove at this point in his career outside of winning a championship, and that's been his mission all season long, and it was no different on this night. A near triple-double, 30 points, 13 rebounds and 8 assists on 47.6% shooting was just another walk in the park for JT. But would the game turn out the same for Boston? Well, perhaps in the past against OKC, but this is a new day. You want to guess how many points SGA had? I'll wait. Okay, not 31. But the man actually had 36 this time. He had more than what he normally gets. This time he had 36 on 63.6% field goal shooting. I mean, what? He also dished 7 dimes and grabbed 6 boards to help OKC win 127-123. So, yeah. Whenever SGA is faced with a superstar task, he aces the test far more often than not and at an extremely efficient rate. He's already passed Kevin Durant for most 30-point games in a season in OKC Thunder history and is putting up season averages reminiscent of someone that many consider as the GOAT.
And lastly, I'm not trying to make the MVP case for you, but I did see the numbers that you've put up this season, and they're numbers that rival a guy named Michael Jordan in his MVP seasons. How does that feel when you hear that stuff?
It's an honor to be in those conversations, if I'm even in them. It's why you play the game and what you dream about as a kid, so it's an honor. Obviously, I have a long way to go before I get to even be in the same conversation as him, but it's an honor.
What I want to ask y'all is this, though. Is SGA on track to become the best player in Thunder history, and will we consider his name among the all-time great guards by the end of his career? Also, let me know if you want to see more individual videos on SGA's matchups with other superstars like Luka and Devin Booker. And I'll be back with another episode of Topic Tackle coming soon. As always, stay solid, people.